Okay, it's the 18th of July. It's a Friday. We've got about just a little over 25 minutes to the NY Open. Yeah, just give me a second. Okay. All right, let's start with the calendar. Okay, no news today. There is nothing. This week we had CPI, PPI, and retail sales. CPI did bring in some volume. PPI and retail sales not so much. That's expected. CPI and NFP are the biggest news events, and then obviously the interest rate decision, and then the FOMC press conference that comes 30 minutes later. Apart from those four, the next two important ones are usually PPI and retail sales, but they don't bring as much volume as the other four do, right? I've said this many times. So as always, we had volume for PPI and retail sales for these two events, Wednesday, Thursday, but not a lot, right? Not a lot. Today is Friday. There is nothing today. I don't expect uh, a lot of volume. But having said that, it's the end of the week, so we could get there are sometimes there are like freaky Fridays where just you have there is no data-driven news events at all, but you have a massive push either to the upside or downside to close the weekly candle, right? So we're going to try to predict the weekly candle close like we usually do. Let's get to it now. Let's go to the weekly time frame and see what's happening. Okay, the weekly candle is bullish, is pushing up. It's bearish, still bearish, but it's pushing up. Now, I am a little concerned that we haven't passed the entire week. The week's coming to an end, and we broke the high, but we haven't pushed past it. I'm a little concerned about that. Okay, uh, for two reasons. Price has tried a couple of times to push past, to close above and continue. It couldn't. It went up there twice. It went to the previous weekly candle high twice. It did that twice, right? It went to the high twice. I think on uh, Wednesday, Thursday, or I think on Monday, Wednesday. I can't remember exactly when. I think probably Monday and Wednesday, or probably Monday, Thursday. We'll take a look at it in a bit on the daily time frame. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, we can see that. Yeah. So on the daily, this is the weekly candle high. This is, yeah. So this was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so Monday and Wednesday, right? So Monday, Wednesday, we both tried to close above. We rejected, push down. We tried it again on Wednesday. We rejected, push down, right? Now, is price going to do the same? If it gets up here, is it going is it going to reject and push down a third time, or are we going to be able to close a daily candle above here? All right, that's one of the scenarios, that the weekly candle closes uh, around 3367 or just under it or above it, right? That's one of the scenarios, right? And that is why I wanted to show you guys the daily, what the daily looks like, because it tried it twice. It pushed past the previous week, that's the previous week high. It pushed past it once, couldn't close above, came down, dropped about almost 500 pips, pushed a second time, tried to close on Wednesday, tried to close back above 3367, couldn't do it again, and dropped another 600 pips. So 550 the first time, 600 pips the second time, right? Now it's coming back there again. Is it going to push down again, Or is it going to finally be able to close around 3367 above this resistance, this daily resistance right here, right? Above 3355. Is it going to be able to close above 3355, around, close to 3367, or is it going to be able to close above 3367? If that happens, then the weekly candle, we're going to get a rejection and a probably could be a bullish weekly close, or maybe even a bearish weekly close with a big bottom wick, right? That's one scenario. The second scenario is it's tried to do it twice. Is it going to get there, fail again, and is the weekly candle going to continue down and close strong bearish? That's the second scenario, right? So in the in the second scenario is that price gets there again, it cannot close above those levels that I mentioned, and then it goes bearish and pushes down. So in the first scenario, price could push up and finally close around very close to 3367. So what we'll have then is a bullish daily candle close. So for that, we should be looking for buys, maybe a pullback, and then look to buy, right? For the second scenario, where the weekly candle closes bearish, strong bearish, maybe close to 3332 or just below 3332, or maybe even further down, what we would want to see is price to push up, grab liquidity, and then continue down in the second half of the NY session or after NYSE open, try to start to push down, right? Those are the two scenarios. We're going to come back on Monday and see which of those two scenarios played out and how, if the weekly candle prediction is going to hold. Let's go to our trading chart. Now, there was nothing yesterday, right? So here's what happened during the streams. We had a couple of liquidity candles here to the left. Price was reacting at one. We tried to take some buys, hoping the price would um, respect this low to continue up. It didn't. News came. No top wick. Straight push down. Right. I quickly closed the trades. Then price came here. 30 minutes support formed. Looked to take buys, but no pullback. Price just continued up with absolutely no pullbacks. Right. So how I would have looked to take the trade is 30-minute support formed here from the liquidity candle. You can see price has touched the liquidity candle. This candle broke the high. So as you can see, no pullback. This candle didn't pull back to the optimal entry level for me to take a trade. So price just continued straight up, broke the high, and we are still pushing up. We're still pushing up 340, almost 350 pips, right? For sells, there was no sells because I said, wait for this setup. I clearly said, this is the setup to wait for. If price is 200 pips away from the EMAs, then you can wait for price to push back, to pull back, to retrace, create 15-minute resistance and a 15-minute tradable back candle to close to come down. That didn't happen either. Price just continued to push up. If you look at the 15-minute, in fact, price was not 200 pips away, I think, from the candle, from this candle. Yeah, from the candle close. Yeah, just under. I remember we did this. It was just under. It was like 197 pips away from the candle close. Always from the candle close, right? Candle close to this closest EMA, which is that, was about 197, 198 pips. It wasn't exactly 200, but I still said wait for either. It's better to wait for 30-minute resistance to form because it is not 200 pips or over. But there was obviously no 30-minute resistance. Price just continued to push up and just went straight up, and then and those are my trading hours, and that's over, and price just continued to go all the way up back to the liquidity candle. There is no opportunity for sales, obviously. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, there was no sell opportunity. The price just continued to go all the way up. This is not a trading opportunity. Even if it was, the next candle didn't break the low to come down. Price, this happened way low down, and price just went up, went all the way to liquidity candles. There was no sells at all, right? Price was very bullish yesterday. Unfortunately, there was no pullbacks for buys, and there was no sell opportunity either. So let's clean up the chart and draw today's zones. We're very bullish right now. 4i is bullish. Yeah, once we break this high, we might have a pullback to continue higher into this wick. Once we break this 4-hour candle high here. Um, Weekly is bullish. Daily is bullish. 4-hour is bullish. Yeah, I would not look for sells. I would not look for sells. Weekly, daily, 4-hour, all bullish. I would look for that pullback to take the buys, right? I would not look for sells. Even though you might get a sell set up here, not now, at least not in the first half of the NY session. Maybe second half of the NY session when price is exhausted, maybe towards 10:30 a.m. onward, 10:30 a.m. after 10:30 a.m. EST, or even 11 or 11:30 a.m. EST. Maybe after that, look for sells, but not now. Now it's just buys. Uh, Even the 1 eye is bullish. Yeah, it makes no sense, absolutely no sense trying to look for sells right now, right? Just look for buys. Pull back and buys is what you should be looking for. All right. Okay. I'm going to keep this liquidity candle here. Once we go past this, then we can delete it. Okay. We have a rally. There's a very obvious demand zone. Rally, 3 base-in candles, and a rally. Okay, let's start with that. Let's take a look at this on the 1 hour as well. The reason for that is price has crossed a weekly SR level. Sorry, it's close to weekly SR level. So we need to go down to the lower time frame to have a look at it. Yeah, and there you go. That's the zone. A rally, base rally. Let's take a look at it on 30-minute as well. Yeah, that's the zone. I'm going to keep it like this. This open 4076. And we'll use this candle here. Instead of that, we'll use this. Because this is a reaction to this. Even if you look at the 15-minute time frame, yeah, it's this. This is the base, right? This is the rally, base, rally. That is the base or the zone. Price came. This is the first visit, and we created for our supply and then pushed up, right? So that's the source is right there. I showed it on the 30 minutes also. It's kind of visible. On the 15 minutes, it's even more clearer. And then we have a 4-hour demand zone. The first reaction of 4-hour demand zone formed as a first reaction to that source. 140. Okay. Now, price has crossed a BRN here. What we're going to have to do is we're deep in this zone. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. 1 second. Let's reduce this candle. Yeah. Let's delete it for now. Let's delete it for now. We've gone past this supply as well. Yeah, this 746 and this high is 768. Yeah, delete this as well. Okay, better. Okay, this candle is about to close in 10 minutes. We should have a zone here. Let's take a look at the 30-minute. Yeah, there is definitely a zone here. Yeah, two zones: a rally, base rally, and then price dipped into that zone and creating one more. I would want to wait for the candle to close before we draw this here. Otherwise, the zone would be like this. Yeah, the zone would be like this. So we'll draw it like this for now, and then we can extend it. 49.82, 629. Okay, right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this here. That's a 170. Yeah, we've seen large. I'm going to bring it here. Yeah, going to bring it to this base here, this 1 hour base, right? That's where we're reacting. We deleted the signal candle. That's fine. Not too worried about that. Price is very bullish. We're not looking for a reversal here. We're not looking for a reversal. We're looking for not now. There's no sells now. It's very bullish. Weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour is all bullish. We're looking for a buy trade. We're looking for a pullback and for the buys to go up. Keep in mind that it's Friday, right? So we're not gonna force a trade today. We're gonna just watch. We had 3 great days: Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was good. Thursday there was no trade yesterday, and let's see today. 487. Okay. H1 supply, and this is 4 hour demand. 1 hour demand. Okay. Below that is this. We've created a demand zone here. It's a liquidity grab from this liquidity candle. It had barely come, touched it once, barely touched it. So the second time it tapped, it went straight up almost 500 pips. When a zone is just barely touched, the second, same thing here. It came, touched it, it barely touched that zone there. The liquidity candle, the second time pushed up, straight up 560 pips. Okay, so we have a zone here. Let's mark that. That's also an obvious zone, a drop-based rally. Let's take a look at on the 1 hour. Yeah, it's okay on the 1 hour. We'll keep it on the 4 hour for that. 568, 981, 981. All right, done. So we have a 1 hour supply here, 1 hour demand, and two 4 hour demands here, right? Uh, yeah, we can extend this to the right as well in case we're very bullish today and price decides to come all the way up. That's good enough. Now remember what I've always said, when liquidity candles are stacked up one against the other, in a high volume session, if there's a lot of volume, price can easily go through them, especially the first two can easily go through them, right? We saw that yesterday as well. When price came down, it went through a couple of them and came to the third one and then pushed up from the third one. So we got three here. That's good enough. Yeah. Okay. Covered 400 pips to the upside. Yeah, and about 400 pips to the downside. All right. Next step. Let's 1 second. Let's take a look at these zones and see if they are high liquidity zones, right? So let's take a look at this one where price is currently at. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. This has obviously pushed down. This zone has taken out this rally, this big wick base and drop has taken out this drop base rally and also these lows here. So that's a high liquidity zone. It's a fairly large zone. This zone here, has it taken out anything to the left? Yeah, it's taken out this high, this high, this rally base drop. We've taken out this high just now. And this one here, is it a high liquidity zone? Yeah, there is a drop, base drop here. Price has taken out these two candles, has pushed up past these highs and taken it out. So that's a high liquidity zone. Is this a high liquidity zone? Yes, price has pushed up. There's a drop. Again, 4 basin candles and a drop here. We've gone past this candle high here, this wick here. This candle has taken out that high. So this too is a high liquidity zone. Done. Next. We're going to take a look at this area and see if we have a high liquidity candle in here, right? In these zones. I'm not looking for a high liquidity candle here anymore because I don't want to take any sells here, right? Price is very, very bullish right now. We've broken above the high. If you take a trade, it needs to be, I'm looking for a buy setup only. If it's a sell and price drops 200 pips, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm looking for a buy setup because all high time frames from 1 hour to the weekly are all bullish. All right, let's take a look at this zone here, see if you have a high liquidity candle. On the 1 hour, this is the largest candle. Let's start with that. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame. This is outside the zone, but that's 71 pips. 59. 55. Yeah, this is outside the zone. 55. Let's look at it with the 5 minute. It's not a lot of liquidity here though. Hmm. Yeah, 15-minute candle, this one. 981426. Okay, done. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. Largest candle would be this. For now, we'll mark this one. This is the NY open. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. $67 pips. 75. 73. 15-minute. 68. 55. Hmm. Ooh, 68. Let's just check this number. 4386. 698. Yeah, this one. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Yeah, there's nothing there. Hmm. What time is Asian session? $75. Also 75. Yeah. 90. 89. 90. 154254. Yeah, makes sense. Left of the zone, that makes sense. Yeah, 1 minute candle. Perfect. And further down, we're pushing up. We're still pushing up. There's nothing. There's no pullback. We just broke the high and we're pushing straight up. There's nothing really to do. If there is no pullback, there is no trade for me. You can trade a breakout. It's absolutely fine. You just have to be careful of where you place your stop loss. If you want to trade a breakout, because we're very bullish, we've been bullish since yesterday. There was a bit of a pullback during the Asian session, came back, grabbed liquidity, and we're continuing higher. You can place your stop. If you're a breakout trader, you can place your stop under the swing low. I don't trade that way. That's a very big stop loss. Um, yeah, we're pushing up. Gone past this. Yeah, I would bring this zone up here. Oh, 63. What is that? 63.30. Yeah, that's better. Now this 1 hour candle can come here. Yeah, 52.29. Yeah, that's better. Okay, done. That's it. Price is pushing up. All right, let's take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions very quickly. I'm not sure if you're going to get a trade here in the first 2-3 hours of the NY session. Price is so far away from the EMAs. Where's this candle close? Well, not that far. Sorry, not that far. Yeah, we have to wait for the candle to close to see how far, where the candle is going to close. It's not really that far. It's just 130 pips. It looked far. It looked far. When I zoomed out, it looked far, but it's not that far. We're pushing up. I want to pull back to go up. It's already, the pullbacks happened already. It happened here before, an hour before pre-NY. The pullback happened. Price crossed this. This one broke the high. The pullback happened. Yeah. Yeah. The pullback happened here. That's the pullback. This candle crossed 3350, 30-minute candle closed above. Next candle broke the high. Price pulled back to this sniper level and to 3350 and is pushing up. Yeah, pullback has already happened, but let's see if there's another pullback. All right, let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Zoom out. Where did the market open? That's the market open right here. 3340.5, roughly 3340.5. That's where the market opened. Um, we're ranging. Let's see if we can draw the Asian highs and lows. That's obviously the London low. This would be the London high. A lot of volume in the London session. Wow, 225 pips. Um, this is not the London high. This is not the Asian high. This is the Asian high. Okay, 427. 413. 180. 463. All right. Let's take a closer look at what price has done. We were very bullish yesterday. The first half of the NY session, we were bearish first for news, and then price just started to push up with no pullbacks, right? Went all the way up, came here, started to range. End of the trading day, we just ranged. You can see from here, all the way from here to about here. We're ranging. The market opened. We're still in the range, but we're inside the liquidity candle, right? We're in the liquidity candle. This is the liquidity candle based on the 1 minute chart. I drew that on the stream. Price is in the liquidity candle, comes down to the EMAs, grabs liquidity, pushes up, creates the Asian high, pushes back down deeper into the liquidity candle, past the EMAs, comes down, creates the Asian low, pushes back up, creates 30-minute support. Right there, 30-minute support, pushes up past the EMAs, still in the liquidity candle, comes deeper into the liquidity candle, breaks the liquidity candle, taps 3332 to the pip, creates the London low, pushes straight past, grabs a lot of liquidity. It's in the liquidity candle, EMAs, and 3332, right? Weekly SR level, pushes all the way up. There is no pullback at all here. 30-minute support form, very much similar to what happened here yesterday in the London session. 30-minute support formed, no pullback, straight up, because you got to remember that 4 liquidity levels: liquidity candle, weekly SR level, 2 EMAs, right? On the 15-minute time frame, we've tapped all of them. Push straight past, closed, tapped the Asian high, closed above it. Next candle went straight to 3350, rejected that a bit, pushed back down. We created a liquidity candle on the way up, came into that liquidity candle, closed above, went up, created the London high, tapped the London high, came back down to the liquidity candle and 3350, and pushed back up and closed above the London high, right? So 30-minute candle closed at it, 15-minute candle closed above it, next candle dipped back into the London high and is still pushing up, all right? There's nothing to do here. Unless you're a breakout trader. If you're a pullback trader, there's nothing to do. If you're a breakout trader, you can trade these breakouts. When price breaks the high, you can take the breakout, put your stop under the current candle or the previous candle, and take the breakouts if you're a breakout trader. And it's heading towards the liquidity candle and towards 3367. That's where we're heading to, right? So we should first get to 3359 or 3360. We should get to 3359 pretty easily. We are, yeah, almost, yeah, we are at 3359. We're at 3359. We should get, yeah, we're almost there. We're at 3360 already. Yeah, we are at 3360, just a few pips away from 3360. And then let's see if we can go deeper into this liquidity candle. But there's nothing to do here. Price has already moved. There was a trade set up here. There was no pullback here. When price tapped the liquidity candle, created 30-minute support, next candle broke the high, there was no pullback. But when price broke this, when closed above this weekly SR level, that's a significant candle. That's why I watch these areas. I always watch these areas, right? always watch the price action that happens at these areas, right? At a high liquidity candle, at a psychological round number, at a weekly SR level, at the EMAs. That's where I always watch. So when price crossed this weekly SR level, this 30-minute candle closed above it yesterday in the NY session, and when the next candle broke the high, here's how to draw the fib, how I draw the fib, right? So this high is 811 and this low is 973, 811, 973, right? And today in the, that was been drawn yesterday, but today in the London session we came dipped perfectly, sniper entry and 3332, very tight stop loss, 20 pips, 22 pips, and price just is pushing up all the way. So I always watch the 30-minute candles or even 15-minute candles. I watch the price action. Because I'm a session trader, I watch the 30-minute candles. Mostly, I would say 85% of the time I watch the 30-minute candles. 15% of the time I watch the 15-minute candles, right? But I watch those candles at these levels or zones. At these levels. Not anywhere on the chart. It's at those levels. All right. Yeah, we're pushing up 3367. Yeah, there is a old weekly level there. 3367 is good enough. 336595 is there. Very likely heading there. That's where price is heading to. Hmm. Any questions on the analysis? You can always post a message in the chat and I'll answer. I'm waiting for a pullback. Might take a while. Waiting for a pullback to buy. We created a new high. Let's see where this candle closes. It's going to probably close, yeah, under 200 pips. So maybe wait for a pullback, 30-minute support to form, and wait for price to go back and retest the high and continue higher. That's the setup I'm waiting for. We have a lot of time. We'll have to wait for this candle to close and possibly even the next 30-minute candle to close. The move has already happened. The move started in the London session. It moved 260 pips. I don't like chasing price. Once price has moved, 250, 260 pips away, the place to catch this buy is down here or even here as we get out of the zone. This is the area to catch this trade, not up here. The move's already happened. The area to catch this move is down here or maybe even here as we cross this level. One could argue that even this area is a good area to catch the buys to go up. Yeah, that's fine too, because that's a liquidity candle and a psychological round number. So, 30-minute support somewhere here is also okay to catch the move up. Just like what I showed, what happened here. This candle broke, this candle, yeah, this 30-minute candle is significant. It broke the high, it broke the 3350, closed above it. This one broke the high, and then we draw the fib, and then this price came dipped and went up. So this was, if you wanted to enter the buys, this was the candle. This wick was the place to enter, but it happened before pre-NY. So if you're trading the London session, yeah, that's great. That's the place to take the trade. And then if you're trading at the London Open, towards like probably the Frankfurt Open, this is the area to take the trade for the buys. But right now, trying to buy here, it just makes no sense. Mm. Yeah, we're pulling back now. 30-minute candle is very likely to close bullish. No bottom wick. Next candle could come down. Trading to this range. I'm waiting for 30-minute support to form. Take the trade to go up. Yeah, this is the low, 57.46. We've tapped it, 50.46. Yeah, that's the liquidity candle, the 5-minute candle. Let's take a look at it on the 1 minute. No, there's nothing on the 1 minute. 88. Yeah, the 5-minute is good. 64. 92. Ooh, 135. Yeah, that's the candle. We have tapped it already. There we go. I think it's on the 1 minute. I think it's on the 1 minute. The 1 minute. Either way, we've tapped the candle. Yeah. Let's keep it on the 5 minute. 088 746. Price is pushing up. Pushing deeper into this liquidity candle. This liquidity candle is over 135, about 130 pips. Pushing deeper into it. 30-minute candle closed inside the candle. Next candle is trying to break the high to continue higher. No bottom wick. There's so much bullish volume that price doesn't need to create a bottom wick, which is pushing up. See these candles? No bottom wick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably not gonna take a trade today. Just call it a week. So I don't like the fact that prices move so much. 500 pips. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to be here for another maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then call it a day because it's Friday. I'm anticipating price to push down, create support, continue higher, right? To retest the high. Now, this candle has broken the high. We should continue deeper, and maybe later on we'll get a pullback, right? Probably towards the 4-hour candle close. That's when we're likely going to get a pullback, some sort of support form, and a buy trade to go continue up. The daily candle is pushing up. Weekly candle is trying to flip bullish. Let's see, we're coming here for the third time. We're getting there. We came the first time, we pushed down. We came the second time, we pushed down. Trying to come back here for the third time. So maybe another 100 pip, at least another 150 pip move up, at least. Price could push up. So if it pushes up without a pullback, then there's nothing I can do. But if price pulls back, creates 30-minute support, and then pushes up this 150 pips, then I have a trade. Otherwise, if price continues up 150 pips without a pullback, then so be it. No trade. So we should be heading towards 3367. Yeah, there, and then maybe higher. 72 pips and into this candle, this wick here. Yeah, this one candle should also close bullish. This current 30-minute candle also should close bullish. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. getting a bit of a pullback, but just probably to create a bottom wick. This candle has just opened. It's just been 10 minutes, so this is very likely probably to get a bottom wick to continue higher. This is not a pullback. This is not a really kind of pullback to create support to go up. This is just to create a bottom wick, very likely. Now, we've already broken the high, so it's probably a bottom wick for price to continue higher. We've got to wait for this candle to close, and maybe then even after that, the next candle to close for C to see if the next candle, not this one, the next one is going to pull back to create support. This one is still pushing up. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the stream now. There's really nothing happening today. Price is just pushing up. As I explained, the move, the London session move trade was here based off structure yesterday, and then towards 3 hours after the London Open, there was a trade here around 3350, right? Just under 3350 area. But right now, there is nothing happening unless we have a pullback, and that's going to take a while because this candle is got about 12 minutes to close. It's going to very likely close bullish, and we'll have to wait for the next one to close to see if there's going to be a pullback, and then maybe the one after that to see if support is formed for price to go back up, right? So there's a lot of waiting to do. If you're going to take a trade today, if you're going to, especially if you're looking to take buys today, there's a lot of waiting to do. If you're a scalper and you're looking to take sells, maybe you can wait for to take a sell here. I wouldn't recommend it because the high time frames are all bullish from the 30-minute all the way up to the weekly. 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly are all bullish. So I would strongly advise against a counter trend trade, right? Even if you're a scalper. I would recommend waiting for 30-minute support to form, price to pull back, create 30-minute support, and then a buy to go up, right? So yeah, this is what I would recommend. This setup right here, setup number one. We've created a new high, wait for a pullback, 30-minute support to form, a tradable 30-minute book candle to close for price to go up. That's what I would recommend, right? So that's going to take a while for that to happen. It's not going to happen in the next 30 minutes, or you probably at least an hour. Wait at least an hour for that. All right, so I'm going to end the stream now. I'm going to come back to the charts probably in about an hour and look at the charts and see if there is a trade set up or not. If there isn't one, then I'm going to call it a week, and then look at, we'll come back on Monday. Okay. All right, so I'll be back 7:30 a.m. EST on Monday, and we'll see if we have any setups. Is there news next week? I don't think so. I don't think there's news next week. Yeah, there's nothing next week. No news next week. Um, it should be a regular trading day. We might not see a lot of volume, so we'll have to see. We'll have to be very conservative with our TP levels for next week, right? This was the last news week. CPI news week was the last one. Next week there's nothing. There's no interest rates this month, and the week after that. Oh, the week after that is the federal funds rate. Oh, the week after that is going to be good. Should be good. Next week, there is nothing happening. The week after that, there is a lot of news. There is the interest rate decision. 30 minutes after that, obviously, is the press conference, and then NFP on Friday, right? So it's a big week. The last week of the month, also the first week of August, or the first day of August, which is a Friday, is should have a lot of volume. It's also the last week of the month, so you'll have the monthly candle close. You have the interest rate decision. You have the press conference 30 minutes after that, and you have NFP. Four big things happening, so there should be a lot of volume the last week, not the next week, the week after that. All right. All right. So this candle has about 9 minutes to close. There's nothing to do. Price is still inside this liquidity candle. It's pushing up very slowly. I'm not a breakout trader, so I don't take these breakouts. But if you are a breakout trader, then you can look to take a breakout and put your stop loss onto the candle. I don't do that, but I always wait for pullback. All right. See you guys on Monday, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care. Have a great weekend.